Good afternoon, everyone. Our topic for today is the school head in school-based management or SBM. For the end of this lesson, you are expected to explain the meaning, advantages, disadvantages, and demands of SBM, state practices aligned to SBM, and explain the roles, functions, and competencies of school heads in SBM. To begin our discussion, I would like us to help Miss Ligaya. Miss Ligaya is a school head of Mabuhay Elementary School, and their school is now suffering from a low percentage mean score for the exit examination of grade 6. Now, she wanted to call a meeting including all the stakeholders from their locality to discuss and find ways to solve this problem. All the problems involved are about tardiness and absenteeism of the students. And as the meeting goes on, here are the findings and the key takeaways from the meeting. For the first problem, the causes are late rising due to TV, the distance of the home to school, and computer shop. So, our objective is to reduce tardiness to 0. So, what are we going to do about it? The first thing is to talk to the parents in our homeroom meetings. Next is to tell the parents to limit the TV watching time of the students. And for the PTA meeting, to meet up and talk to the computer shop owners to not let the students play during class hours or too late at night. So, the persons involved here are the PTA officers, teachers, and school head. There are no resources needed. All we need is the effort of the persons involved. For the time frame, they set the PTA meeting on March 15 and the implementation of the plan is up to March 30. So next is the expected outcome. Hopefully, there would be no or zero tardiness. The second problem is absenteeism, and its possible causes are due to the games in the computer shop, the lack of interest to go to school, and lastly, the work on the farm. So, our objective is to reduce unexpected absences to 0. So, how can we do that? We need to present problems and seek a solution in PTA meeting, and then the PTA members should talk to the computer shop owners and the teacher should come up with interesting lessons to motivate the students to come to school. And of course, the persons involved here are the PTA officers, the teachers, the school head, and the resources needed for the effective or the motivation of students in learning. Teachers will make or find video clips, games, and other references to help them or encourage the students to come to school. The time frame is March 30, then we expect that the unexpected absences will be 0. In general, as we see in this situation, Ms. Ligaya sought the help of the stakeholders instead of dealing with the problems alone, and that's a good move because she can gather the thoughts and other resources or opinions, perspectives, or points of view of all the people or the stakeholders involved in the situation, making it easier or the solution to the problem is more accurate, and that is how the school-based management works. So, we are going to deal with more about the school-based management. So, what is school-based management or SBM? SBM or school-based management is a decentralized management initiative by developing power and authority to school heads, teachers, parents, and students, meaning to say the stakeholders have the control and responsibility, and the school has direct power and authority towards school matters. When we say that the stakeholders have control and responsibility, it involves the allocation of community and local resources, and it also involves the community programs and the stakeholders participating in the discussion and formulating the school improvement plan. Now, here in school has direct power and authority towards the school matters based on the SBM subsidiary principle from the DepEd Central Office, the Regional Office, to the division office up to the individual school. The school itself is in the best position to deal with the matters that concern them because they are more involved within the context of their situation. They are more informed compared to those on the higher division. That is why those things that can be handled by them should be handled by them before the higher divisions take actions. Basta mas dako na ang problema, aya pa ma-involve ang mas taas-taas pa jud ang higher ups. So, why do we include the stakeholders in the first place? Because this is for them to feel sense of importance and ownership, as we have a saying that it takes a village to raise a child. And from that, we can say that the stakeholders take part in the learning and growth of the learners. So, generally, SBM has the end goal, which is to achieve a better learning environment. Now, here are the advantages of SBM. Allows competent from the school to make decisions that will improve learning, give the entire community a voice in key decision, focus accountability for decisions, lead to greater creativity in the design of programs, redirect resources to support the goals developed in each school, lead to realistic budgeting as parents and teachers become more aware of the school's financial status, spending limitations and the cost of its programs, and improve morale of teachers and nurture new leadership at all levels.
What are the conditions to success of school-based management? Teachers, school heads must be given the opportunity to make choices. They must actively participate in the school improvement planning. Teachers and the school heads, sila yung kumbaga kanang mangunguna because they are the ones who set a meeting, facilitate as a whole. Other stakeholders' primary role is to help meet its strategic objectives by contributing their experience and perspective to a project. The involvement of parents and teachers must be strongly encouraged and highly welcomed. All the parents should attend kung naipatawag na PTA meeting because syempre na mga serious problems ang kailangang isolve. Their concerns and opinions and suggestions kay needed basi na ika-help aron masolve ang problems. PTA meetings is important because they keep parents informed about how the school works, what's coming up, and any issues teachers have come across. Next is stakeholders must participate in the development of a school improvement plan. They must have a say on resources allocation to meet specific need. The stakeholders play an important role in managing schools. They are the partner of the school leaders in making the schools conducive to teaching and learning. The stakeholders are more knowledgeable kung unsaon nato paggamit ang mga local resources para ma-meet ang needs sa school. Next, higher authorities must actively encourage thoughtful experimentation and innovation in an atmosphere where mistakes are viewed as learning experience. Fifth is teachers must develop reflection and problem solving. The reason why we are conducting SBM is to mainly solve problem. Dapat ang teacher kay naikakayahan na mag-reflect sa situation kung kaya ba nila i-assess ang situation, kung kaya ba nila i-process ang mga informations and opinions from other people. Dapat kaya pud nila i-combine ang mga ideas o mamili sila o unsay mas appropriate para ma-solve ang problem. Schools must have basic resources. Like for example, karon pandemic, most of the students kay kanang modular. So, kanang naay mga teachers nga wala sila mga papers para maprinta ng mga modules sa students. So, kailangan nila mga resources para makaprint sila og mga modules o para pod makatuwa ng mga students. Resources are very useful as supporting tools in teaching and learning by giving the flexibility to access files and materials without the supervision of an instructor in an informal way, such as browsing the organization's virtual learning environment, whether at schools or away. Next, schools must have developed an effective support system. A school cannot stand alone without the support ng mga stakeholders. We students, our parents, especially kanang mga alumni, sila ang mga himog support systems sa atong school. Like for example, na ay kanang contest nga himuon ng atong school. So kailangan atong mga prizes para ana. So magsiktag help sa atong mga alumni para makahatag ta og mga prizes sa ilaha. Schools are provided with regular information on their performance. Example for this kay kanang evaluation, not just for the teacher's evaluation but also sa ato pod nga school performance. Schools are given advice on how they improve. So after magawas ang results sa evaluation, makita didto ang mga strengths and weaknesses sa school and mga suggestions kung unsay kailangan sa school para ma-develop ug ma-improve. Last is school emphasizes the motivational element in the management work of principal.
Next is the disadvantages of school-based management. First, it creates frustrations in decision-making. Decision making is a hard thing to do, especially in large organizations. Frustrations and irritations are normal in this aspect, but it is better to take this as a challenge rather than a disadvantage in order to have an optimistic mindset. The second disadvantage is the interest, training, and budget of the council members. Every school-based management stakeholders must have the ability to lead. A leader's role is to guide and direct the SBM. However, not everyone is interested in being a leader. That is why, in order to gain the ability of a leader, training and seminars are required, and financial budget is needed for that resource. Next is the functions of a school head. First role is the visionary principal, a motivator, an advocate, and a planner. This role is to lead in setting the vision, mission, and goals of the school. He should be the brain of the school by knowing how to achieve the vision, mission, and goals through the teaching process and supports given to the students and teachers. The ability required in this role is change and future orientation. This person should be aware that change is constant and the future may vary to the expectations. The second role is the builder of the networks and support systems. These are the functions. Number one, organize and expand school, community, and local government networks and groups that will actively participate in school improvement. And this person should lead in developing the school improvement plan with the participation of the staff and the community. And also, he should be leading in developing and maintaining the school management information system. The knowledge, skills, and attitudes required in this role is networking, organizing, social mobilization, and advocacy. The development of teamwork, building consensus and skills in negotiation and conflict resolution. Also, the participatory planning and administrative management skills are required. Generation and use of data and information as basis for planning and management are also required in these roles as a function of school head.
The third function of a school head is curriculum developer. Its function is to create a physical and psychological climate conducive to teaching and learning. He creates a physical and psychological conducive to learning and teaching as it helps increase students' and teachers' attention and focus, promotes meaningful learning experiences and performances that helps in their physical and psychological aspects. Also, it localizes and implements school curriculum. It localizes and implements school curriculum to become the school more meaningful and relevant. It supports policy formulation and standard setting for reform of the curriculum. It also encourages development and use of innovative instructional methods focused on improving learning outcomes, increasing access to basic education, improving the holding power of schools, and addressing specific local problems. He will use innovative method of teaching strategies that help every students in improving their learning, as it encourages teachers and students to explore, research, and use all the tools to uncover something new. It compels students and teachers to use a higher level of thinking to solve problems as it creates a flexible learning environment. And the knowledge, skills, and attitude required is development of collective accountability for school and student performance. So, it requires to develop collective accountability, teamwork, cooperation to make a better school and student performance. Designing of the curriculum to address both national goals, local needs, and aspiration. The third is creation of an open learning system based on several resources materials rather than single textbook. He required or knowledge in creation of an open learning system. So he need to open or kailangan niya open siya for all materials that could be used to learn and share to learners. It is better to use as many as possible resources than focusing on one. And the last is participatory and peer-based instructional supervision. He is participating and volunteering in adequate training, observe and conference with one another, sharing their expertise and experiences. The fourth function of the school head is the fiscal resource manager. Its function is to administer and manage all personnel, physical and fiscal resources of the school. He manages all the staff, teachers, and all employed in the school. He manages all the physical resources of the school such as classrooms, staff offices, library, laboratory to ensure that the learning establishment and materials used in learning is well set, and also he manages the fiscal resource to adequate to fulfill its stated mission, vision, and goals. Also, it encourages and accepts donations, gifts, bequests, and grants for educational purposes and report all such donations to the appropriate offices. He will accept all donations, gifts for educational purposes. He is open in accepting any funds that could be used for the betterment of the school and report all what he received in the offices. And the knowledge, skills, and attitude required is fund management. He has the skill or knowledge in handling of a financial institution's cash flow to ensure that the financial of the school is well used and maintain the asset liability framework of the school. The second is serving as model for transparency and accountability, especially in financial management. He can manage well the transparency and accountability, especially the financial management, as it helps in improving schools, establishment, and acquire the financial needs of the school. That's all, and thank you.
So let's forward to the legal basis of school-based management. So what are the legal basis of school-based management? So why did we have a school-based management? School-based management is not made in out of nowhere, and school-based management has a legal basis. The first is as stated in Article 10, Section 3 of the Philippine Constitution, the Congress shall enact a local government code that will institutionalize a system of decentralization whereby local government units shall be extended more power authority. So in our government structure, when we see that we expect that in the higher position, they have more power and authority. So in this article, they give more authority and power to manage their subject because they are more engaged in like in the local government, they can properly manage their subject because they know more about their work, then they have more authority to manage their subject. Next, the Republic Act number 7160, also known as the Local Government Code, through former Senate President Aquilino Nini Pimentel Jr., the father of the Local Government Code. Here it is the Local Government Code, Republic Act number 7160 based on the Republic Act. And introduction of the school-based management through Republic Act 9155 on the Basic Government Act. So they introduced the school-based management through this Republic Act 9155 on the Basic Government Act. As I mentioned in the Republic Act 7160, they give more power or authority to local government compared to the higher position when it comes to managing their own subject. And this is their basis to the school-based management. So like the DepEd Central Office, they are the one who exactly have more authority supposedly, but since the school are more involved and have known more and more capable in this right position, and it give the school more authority to manage through this Republic Act 9155. Next, the third elementary education project, TEEP, studied about the application of the school-based management in 23 schools in the Philippines over 2003-2005 and found that it has overall positive effect on the average school level test scores. So based on this article, the school-based management has good effect when it comes to learning. The DepEd embarked on revisiting the school-based management assessment process and tools stated in DepEd Order 83 Series 2012. As for DepEd Order 45 Series 2015, school-based management grants additional funds to public elementary and secondary schools for maintenance and other operating expenses. School-based management is really needed a basic funds or basic resources, and this is the answer. So DepEd Order 45 Series of 2015 is the one who gave funds for public elementary and secondary schools. A Philippine Accreditation System for Basic Education, PASB, is launched through the DepEd Order number 64 Series 2012. So that they can strengthen the institutionalization of the school-based management. Accreditation is a process of self-evaluation and self-interview to ensure the quality standards agreed upon the stakeholders are understood, implemented, maintained, and enhanced for continuous improvement of learner outcomes. This is the SBM PASB operation framework. PASB is developed to strengthen the institutionalization of the school-based management so that they can evaluate the application or practice of the school-based management. So when the school accredit their school, then they will passing by in the accredited status, like in the reaccredited status, also called autonomous. Next is accredited. It is the initial accreditation. So the school is evaluated through these four categories: the leadership and governance, curriculum and learning, accountability and continuous improvement, and management of resources. And as you can see also in the picture, the levels of the practice. The level 1 is the beginning, the level 2 is developing, and the level 3 is advanced accredited.